Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I'm Miss Lori, and you're here at Whippoorwill Holler. And we're starting our first video on cooking with my cookbooks. And this is something that a lot of y'all have asked me to do, and when I announced that I thought about doing it, y'all really thought it would be a good thing. So I have got so many old cookbooks, new cookbooks, cookbooks that I've had since I was a young wife, and there's just so many. And I thought, I just think it'd be a neat thing to get on here and start cooking at least one or two recipes out of my cookbooks. Now, some of the recipes that I bring y'all and that I do videos on are from some of my cookbooks, but still a lot of them are just recipes that I've done all of my young life since I started cooking, and things that were passed down to me from generation to generation. But I went through a bunch of my cookbooks and started taking a bunch out because I was just, and this is just part of them. In fact, this is a big shelf, and it's got a bottom shelf on the very bottom that's full of cookbooks, and they go all the way back to the back. There's two different layers, and then a lot of my old cookbooks are back behind these, and then I've got a lot of my really old cookbooks that so many of y'all have blessed me with by sending them to me over the last 4 or 5 years, and we're going to start picking recipes out of them and cooking some of them. And like I said, when I started this, I thought, when I announced it, we're going to do it, and even if they don't turn out, that's okay, because we'll know not to ever cook it again, won't we? So this cookbook, and what I've done is I'm not just going in there and saying I'm looking and generally just picking out a cookbook. I just reached back there to my oldest cookbooks and just pulled one out, and this is the one I pulled out. This is the World's Modern Cookbook and Kitchen Guide for the Busy Woman. Some of y'all probably have this cookbook. This one was gifted to me, and it's very old. In fact, I need to do some work to it because it is falling apart, and some of the first pages, like the copyright pages and stuff, are missing, but that's all that's missing. And this book dates back to the 1930s, and you can see that it does need some work done to it. And I did look in Etsy and eBay, Imboden book, just different, just get on there and search this cookbook. What I done is I took a picture and searched it that way, and there were several different places that are selling this book, anywhere from 15 to 30 bucks, something like that. So it is a very old book though. And I didn't go through here, and I didn't just like go through there and pick out a recipe. What I've done is I just kind of flipped through it, and I come to this cookie recipe, and when I seen it, I thought, that looks like a really good recipe, and it looks like one that maybe my subscribers would be interested in, because it's something they could make this fall and this winter for, it's cooler days, we're using our oven, and the holidays are coming up. So I just thumbing through it, seen it, and that's where I stopped. I didn't even go any further, because you can go down the rabbit hole real fast looking at all these recipes and all these old books. And a lot of the recipes are so old that, it calls for a hog's head and, stuff like that. We're not going to go down that road, but we will be picking a recipe out of all of my old ones. And I know a lot of y'all that sent me these books will probably recognize them. So I think it's time to do that. And I was also gifted new recipe books. And after we go through all the old ones, we'll start in with the newer recipe books. Not that they're all like brand new, but newer ones, not as old as these. But we'll start with our old ones. So we're going to get started with our cookie recipe. And it just caught my eye, and I just thought it'd be a good thing for us to start with, because with the holidays coming up, like I said. And really and truly, this book, it goes into, it does have a lot of recipes, but it also, it goes into almost like kitchen etiquette and just different ways to how they said that you should run your kitchen. So there's a lot of that in there. But going through all these, like there's a golden cake icing, a fruit cake, frosted raisin spice cake, a black fruit cake. Not sure. Oh, it's got black coffee in it. And they do have a recipe for just plain old birthday cake icing. And then it goes into the cookies. And it's got all kinds of cookies. Pecan macaroons. There's some called crybabies. Have you ever heard crybaby cookies? And different ones like that. Grandmother's cookies, drop spice cookies. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing the chocolate nut kisses, the very top one there. And you see there's very few ingredients, and this can gluten-free because there's no flour in it. So there's 4 ingredients. There's 1 cup of walnuts, powdered sugar, grated chocolate, and 5 egg whites, and that's your cookie. So let's get in there and let's get started because I'm getting excited about this. It just sounds like a really good recipe, something that we would want to make if they turn out good. And I will tell you the truth, because if it's a bummer, we won't be making them again. But, you know, everybody's got their own taste. But we're going to start out with this cookbook. And like I said, if you're new to my channel, there's a lot that goes on in this channel. We are a homestead. We've homesteaded all of our life. I'm 60 years old, and Mr. Brown is fixing to be 63. And he's homesteaded all his life and the generations before him. So it goes back to me loving the old ways. But as I get older, I'm accepting some of the new ways too, because, well, I'm getting older, I need a little help. But anyways, we still stick and love the old ways, and that's why I love the old cookbooks. So let's get started making these cookies. I really think they're going to turn out good. What do y'all think? Okay, let's go through my arsenal of chocolate and see which chocolate I need to grate for this recipe. I know I've got several kinds here. There's a milk chocolate. We need 1.5 cups. There's a German chocolate. Semi-sweet. Semi-sweet. I may have to go with the semi-sweet. Chocolate nut kisses. It says mix the sugar and egg whites together for about 10 minutes until pure white and stiff. And it says an electric beater simplifies this process. Mix in nuts and a trace of vanilla. A trace of vanilla, I'm going to say, is about a teaspoon. And then add the grated chocolate and mix well. Drop in teaspoonfuls on a buttered paper placed on a pan or cookie sheet. Bake in a slow oven, 300 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 15 minutes. Remove the paper to a moist towel. The kisses may be easily removed, and it makes about 6 dozen kisses. Well, we'll try our best and we'll see what we can do. And the most important thing is to see if they're any good. So let's try this old recipe. And this will be our first recipe with Miss Lori, cooking with my cookbooks. Okay, we're going to get started with beating our 5 egg whites. Now what I done is after I separated my egg whites, the egg yolks, I didn't throw away. I put in a little plastic bag you can put them in any kind of little container. And I put 5 egg yolks on the outside of that little snack bag and put it in the freezer. So the next time I'm baking a cake or just anything that maybe I want a little extra richness, cornbread or whatever, I'll throw those extra egg yolks in it. So we got our 5 egg whites, and we got 1.5 cups of confectioner's sugar. And what we're going to do, we're just going to, it says to beat it for 10 minutes. Well, just a little tip. If you're going to be mixing egg whites for 10 minutes, use your stand mixer. I mean, you can use a hand mixer because I just did, but you see these crippled hands? I had to stand there and make myself do it, but it worked, and I've got them where they need to be. So anyways, I'm just telling you a little tip. When you're mixing for 10 minutes, yeah, use your stand mixer. Make it a little bit easier on you. Okay, so we got our egg whites beat too. And I even beat probably about 11 minutes, but you can see it's good and thick and white and pretty, you know, pretty stiff. So we're going to stop at this. If I can get my beaters off here. And I'm going to get me a spatula. Now, the recipe says to add a little bit of vanilla and nuts. But what I'm going to, from this point, I'm going to fold the rest of my stuff into the egg whites. Just from experience from different recipes, you know, over the years that was with the egg whites. Because you don't want to overbeat it and it lose its volume. So anyways, I'm not going to mess with that too much longer. But yeah, I'm going to put, it says a trace of vanilla. So we're going to call it a teaspoon. And then a cup of what they call walnut meats. It says 1 cup of chopped walnut meats, which is just chopped walnuts, and that's what we're going to put in. Now, it calls for 1.5 cups of grated chocolate, and I used the semi-sweet, and I ended up using 2.5 of these. So, but I couldn't grate it by hand, so I chopped mine up in my little food processor. So let me go get my chocolate. I don't think I brought it over here. So here's my chocolate, and they call for grated, but I just chopped mine up. I'm going to put a little bit in, and I'm going to fold it in with the vanilla and the pecans. I've got my oven set on 300. I've got me a cookie sheet with parchment paper, and it says to butter your parchment paper. So I'm going to put the rest of my chocolate in there. And it does look like a lot of chocolate, but it did say 1.5 cups of grated chocolate. So that's what we did. If any of y'all have ever made this recipe, let me know down in the comments, because this is my first time making this recipe out of this cookbook, or making this recipe either way. I'm going to try not to over stir it, but you want it all stirred together good. So we're going to call it good so that I don't overdo it. Now, you could use a little cookie scoop or however you want to do it, but I'm just going to do it this way. It says teaspoon. Mine might be just a little bit bigger. But I've got both of my spoons buttered, so it'll all come off pretty easy. I'm really anxious to see how this turns out. 300-degree oven, 15 minutes, and then you take it out and you take your parchment off your sheet pan and put your parchment with the cookies on it on a damp towel. That's what it says. And I'm thinking that's to help release the cookies is what I'm thinking. What do y'all think? I may be making these too big. I don't know. They seem like a decent size. Okay, 3, 6, 9, 12. We got a dozen on there. And we're going to stick it in the 300-degree oven 15 minutes. Okay, mine, I took them out at, I think it's about 13 minutes. But you know, y'all know I've said 100 times, every oven varies. But I don't think I'm going to have to even put these on a wet towel because they're coming right off. And I'll show you how brown it is on the, and I didn't want it any browner than that, so I went ahead and took mine out. So just watch, check them at about 12, 13 minutes before you go the full 15 minutes. But these are done. And they're coming right off. They're already starting to cool because the oven was only set on 300, so it wasn't a really hot oven. But this is supposed to make, what did I say, 6 dozen? So this would be and we're fixing to taste them, so I can tell you if it's going to be worth it. And like I said, some of y'all have maybe made these, and y'all know how wonderful they are. But it was just this old recipe that I found in this very old cookbook, and that's the recipe I wanted to do. And I can tell you right now, these things smell so good. I can smell the chocolate. It smells really good. So there's the first dozen, and we're going to taste it, and I'm just going to continue baking them. So these are no joke. They turned out so good. Take my glasses off. But anyways, let's try it. I didn't really let it cool off long enough, but there's a shadow on me. Those are delicious. They're really rich. You can see the chocolate in the middle. I'm thinking the more they cool, they're probably going to be a little bit crispier. I think y'all sideways on me too. Sorry, y'all. But my next batch I may try and let them go 15 minutes. I just seen how brown the bottom was and it kind of worried me. So the next batch we'll take out and I'll do 15 minutes and then we'll check them. These cookies are delicious, y'all. And I'm thinking, you know, a lot of us get so many eggs. So this is another good way to use your eggs up. Use some egg whites. And if it makes 6 dozen, that's plenty to be sharing with our family and neighbors. So let me get another batch, put in the oven, and cook them for exactly 15 minutes. And then we'll talk about it when we come back. Okay, well, I got all the cookies finished, and it didn't make no 6 dozen, but I think I made mine probably a little bit bigger than what they probably would have. So if you make them by teaspoonfuls, you'll probably get 6 dozen. But the ones that I did leave in, the total of 15 minutes, did get browner, but also the 15 minutes helped it set up a little bit better, so they are crunchy. And to me, if you're gluten-free and you need a good cookie recipe, this is it. I mean, does this not taste like a chocolate chip cookie to you? I mean, does it not? I know you've done 5 or 6 of them.
I come in hungry. I've been stacking wood.
But I'm not kidding. If you want something as close to a chocolate chip cookie without the flour, whether it be gluten-free flour or not, it has a crispiness to it.
That's crunchier than the last one I ate.
Yeah, I think leaving it in there the whole 15 minutes, then letting them cool.
But the other ones taste good.
Yeah, they all do.
Really, if you like chocolate.
These are chocolatey, y'all.
And they're gluten-free. Mm-hmm. Can't eat no more.
Can't eat no more? Or you eat that one?
They're gluten-free. I can eat.
Anyways, I have enjoyed this recipe, and I hope that y'all have too, and enjoyed cooking with my cookbooks. And I'm hoping that every Friday, with this what we'll be doing, till we get them all to a recipe, at least one recipe out of each cookbook. But this was fun. It's the first time I've ever made these cookies, and they're delicious. So I hope y'all try the recipe. And there's something else that I have to announce, because I had several people announce, because in one of my videos, and I can't remember which one, I said that me and Paul was going to have a yard sale. And everybody's like, please tell me when you're having your yard sale.
We ain't having that much stuff.
Well, and we are having it, but we can't have it here at the house because we live way out in the boonies. So we're having our yard sale this Saturday, and the date will be, what's the date?
It'll be the 5th.
The 5th, October. We will be in Imboden, which is, if y'all know, that's where we used to work, at the school, but we're not having it at school. But anyways,
don't confuse people.
It's in Imboden, Arkansas, and I know a lot of y'all live close, and that's why y'all asked when we was having our yard sale. So it'll be in Imboden, right in the middle of town, across from S&H, little gas station grocery store, and it'll be in a little open lot there. So me and Danny, and I think, is your brother coming?
He might.
And my kids will have a few things in there. So there, I announced it. I told y'all.
It won't be a whole bunch of stuff. Not really, is it?
Well, it's quite a bit. But anyways, they just wanted me to tell them when I was going to have the yard sale. So there it is. And we also want to mention our cares and concern about all those that have been devastated with this hurricane. It has gotten into be a really ordeal. Some lives were lost, and I told Danny the other night I wish there was something we could do to help everybody. And
I wish we wasn't so far away.
So,
I keep hearing, I heard a while ago, there's more and more people that are stepping up and trying to get, there's fire departments helping that, like I think the Asheville Fire Department that lost everything, and first responders and all that stuff, and they're just more and more people, and bless their hearts, that are closer than we are, that if I was closer, I'd go do what I could do.
Well, if it gets to the point, as it gets on into it, and we're able, we'll do what we can. It'll take us hours to get there, but we'll do what we can.
They're going to need money eventually, but right now, if they don't have food, it won't buy nothing.
So money's not where it's needed.
So they've
right
got to
now.
get the supplies. We're hearing of people that, you can't even get to them. And so.
And I hope that we can get to these people and get to them soon. So whatever we can do. And we have thousands of linemen, paramedics, firefighters, you name it, trying to get to everybody. So
Yeah, our son's in South Carolina, right?
So, yeah, I haven't heard from him in a few days. But anyways, we are doing what we can from here, from the homestead, and that is thinking about y'all all the time, every minute of the day, and putting y'all in our prayers. So anyways, we'll see y'all in a few days, and make y'all some cookies because they're good. We love y'all. God loves y'all. God bless everybody.
Nah.